Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Monster Jam Steel Titans 2 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Google Stadia. Monster Jam Steel Titans 2 is of course the sequel to the game Monster Jam Steel Titans that came out 2 years ago, which was an arcade, somewhat simulation-based Monster Jam experience where you get to drive monster trucks through various terrains, be it deserts or aircraft carriers, and of course regular stadiums, just like you would if you were watching real-life monster truck action. So of course a lot of what was the standard in Monster Jam Steel Titans 1 is in 2 as well. The sort of wonky, arcadey, lightweight physics that is associated with every truck that you race with. The game modes are pretty much unchanged. You can have your waypoint or circuit races across the various terrains, be it mountainous areas or even a graveyard. You can go into an arena and try to outrace your opponents in a head-to-head drag race. Or of course you can just participate in a wacky and wild freestyle, which definitely showcases how crazy the physics can be when you play this game. There are only two real new gameplay implementations. One is the ability to find secrets around the various hubs that only unlock with certain trucks, which means it can be a trial and error moment. You can have one truck find a hidden area and discover that you cannot unlock that area with that truck, or you discover a secret and you cannot unlock that secret with that truck. So you have to go find a garage, switch your truck, and then go back to that area. The other implementation is the abilities. There are classes in this game where certain trucks are a part of certain classes, and depending on what class those trucks are in, they have certain abilities like being able to boost and kind of have a power up of speed, or make it easier to knock trucks around if they're getting close to you. It's not necessarily the best thing in the world, but it definitely adds to the arcadey nature of the overall presentation. The two main single player modes are World Tour mode and Arena Championship mode, and this is a very good example as to why this game and in general this series lacks, and that is variety. Because in World Tour mode you participate in waypoint races or, just as I mentioned, freestyle or drag races in both arenas and around the hub environments that are provided for you to drive around. In Arena Championship mode you get the same things, just only in arenas. You have to do freestyles and two-wheeled skills and time destruction events and drag races, but you can't do the waypoint or the checkpoint or the general world around races. Both modes are almost exactly the same. They provide you the same amount of content. The main thing about these modes is the fact that, just like in Monster Jam Steel Titans 1, a majority of the trucks are locked behind a gameplay wall. You have to play the game, you have to play the tour mode and the championship mode to unlock the trucks. So unfortunately for those who are just cranking the game up and want to just play around with it, want to see what kind of trucks are offered, what kind of modes are available, just getting used to the environments cannot, because the majority of the trucks that you want to play with are locked and you have to play through the single player mode or try to traverse the hub to unlock these trucks. And it's one of those things that I appreciated in the first game, and I appreciate it here as well. When you have a game that tells you, just like the old games used to, you have to play the game to unlock everything. But it becomes tedious, especially when you have a game that locks so much of the content behind pretty much mundane single player experiences. One of the biggest complaints I had about the first Steel Titans game was the lack of local and multiplayer. Now, the original did have online multiplayer, but the only thing that was available were circuit races. This game definitely ups the ante in the best way possible. You have your circuit and waypoint races returning. You have the ability just to free roam alongside players. And most importantly, you can go head to head with an opponent online and offline in freestyle and drag races and time destruction events. Every event that is available in the single player mode is available in the multiplayer, be it offline or online, because yes, they've also added split screen, so you can actually play locally as well. Those were two of the biggest things I had against the original Steel Titans that they fixed here. Unfortunately, when it comes to the online play, it's kind of hard to find a robust room of gamers. You can have a private room so you can play with your own friends if they want to play with you, which is once again another plus when it came to online play that they didn't have in the original Steel Titans. But if you're just trying to do random plays, it may take you quite a while, no matter what time you play, to find some of the online matches that you want to find. Technically, the game was definitely a little rough around the edges. I noticed more frame rate drops, more stuttering. Playing online, a lot more connectivity issues than I had in playing Steel Titans 1. Graphically, the game looks better and worse depending on what environment you're in. To me, in the more open world environments, things look a lot more muddy. Items that you believe are destructible aren't. But in the arenas, things look a lot better, look a lot more crisp compared to Steel Titans 1. And unlike something like Monster Truck Championship that came out last year, there still aren't any customization features that you could in Monster Truck Championship you can't do here. It just automatically does it on its own as you level up. I really wish they would have taken some cues from Monster Truck Championship and implemented some of those customization options that made MTC so much fun. Overall, this is, as expected, an expanded version of the original Steel Titans with better multiplayer, more trucks, but also limited by the gameplay that is still very much the same as the original Steel Titans. Now, if you enjoyed the original Steel Titans, it's hard for me to believe that you won't enjoy this one. This is one of those games that you will probably put a lot of time and effort into to unlock everything that's available. But if you felt that the original Steel Titans was very tedious and mundane and didn't have a lot to offer in terms of variety and gameplay modes, though it does offer a lot more in multiplayer than the original did, and maybe that's a bigger draw to you than the original title had, then I say try it out, pick it up. But if it's not one of those games that you enjoyed, if you didn't enjoy the arcadey nature of Steel Titans 1, you won't enjoy the arcadey nature of Steel Titans 2, and it may be better just to stick with Monster Truck Championship. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Monster Jam Steel Titans 2 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Google Stadia. Now I have to go back into the arena, try to have the best freestyle score possible so I can potentially unlock Gravedigger or Maximum Destruction or even the Unicorn Truck. And if I fail and come into 3rd or 4th or even 5th place, I will have no choice but to say, oh lordy.